In a very small window, yes. Looking at your OBS, or it's not OBS, but whatever the hell you're using to stream. Get wrecked. I see the thing. We got there, boys and girls.
Yeah, we wanna know what everybody's into so that we have cool stuff to talk about. Tell us what you're interested in too, and then we'll talk about that. You can also tell us in the chat, and we will look it up on screen and search it on Google and talk about it until you come on stage and tell us.
PR gets merged. When a PR gets merged,
I feel like there is a
all
higher
part of the
aspiration.
process.
There's a higher aspiration here, though, which is agents are merging other agents' code pull requests, and I get a summary every day, and I'm excited that it works. I feel like maybe that's not landing a kickflip. That's more like the double backflip off the half pipe. Exactly, exactly. But I think that's where it's headed. It does feel like that's almost getting closer as well. I've had a few. I think your agents have been merging some of my pull requests in the last week or so.
I find it only works with agents code. Like agents have a hard time working with human code, but if they work with their own code, they're a lot. It's a lot easier.
with that one really good prompt at the beginning, though. There always has to be that really good prompt that starts it off, otherwise the proceed will go
Yeah,
into very bad places.
the proceed will just be a fucking train wreck. I do it up front, and then I have, like, an interviewing agent that will, like I'll be like, "I want this," and then it'll ask me a bunch of questions, and then once those are done, then it'll create design specs, put them into the agents.md so it goes into their context, and then adds a tracker for it, for all the different steps. Yeah, Erasmus is closed right now, so, my my partners would kick my ass if I just shared it. Um, yeah, so that's just sort of the work stuff is all sort of secondary, like ends to means to an ends. Um, Taking like regular normie work contracts, so nothing exciting there. But I do have a API layer interface for Erasmus that I can set up, and then build an API for it to let public people use it because it ingests markdown documents as like instructions that run the finite state machines. So I can just show you how to do that, and then you can use that, and then use the interview agent that I have. Yeah, I have to put it together for you.
Hey, yeah, we also have Alan on stage, who I know from way back in Canada. Alan, do you want to say hi and talk about how you use CodeGen?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you? Um, yeah, I just hopped on. I saw the notification. I've been, I haven't been doing fully automated coding, I guess. I've been more like Copilot style within Cursor recently. So I don't know if I have a lot to add to that particular topic right now. I'm just learning about it, but in general, like a lot of my coding style is like very AI influenced right now. Yeah. Like you mean in terms of like automating like the coding entirely? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe it's a slow relinquishing of controls of the computer. I'm used to just like diving in and building stuff, right? So like I think it's just like I have a touch with the code still, you know what I mean? But I feel like if you're reviewing, it's like it still feels in a way like I'm just reviewing stuff the AI is doing. In a way, there's like a maybe there's a Mobius strip between these things because um, the more that I do it, the more it just feels like you're I don't know. It's like biking when you were like running before or something like that. It's like it's just really fast.
Yeah, you have a bit of a
Has
disconnect from
anybody
your
tried out the
partner.
new Sui model from fucking Windsurf? You want to see something really fast? You should play with that thing. It's fucking hilarious. It like goes like it's like watching like a junior dev on meth just like writing code like really fast and crashing everywhere. It's hilarious.
It crashes every time, but it still runs constantly. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, yeah, like it got stuck in a loop where it was trying to make a tool call inside of its thought process, so it fucking burned the entire context window before it could hit cancel.
Oh, wow.
I love it. I love it. Truly
Tool
amazing.
call loop. That's pretty rough. We Alan, on the note of like letting the AI take control, I was at a hackathon this weekend, and my partner and I did about 85,000 lines of code in 24 hours straight. But we've
Nice.
resulted with a completely working app. The only thing that isn't on it is Stripe. So this is a spreadsheet. Actually, if you click that, if you click the create there, and you can say something like, make me a list of so and so. Just ask the agent to fill the table with links, and anything goes. Um, the project that we built was this entirely autonomous spreadsheet, which has master agents in the back end. And we actually didn't. We read all the code in pull request reviews, but only if there was merge conflicts. If there was merge conflicts or something broke, we read the code, and the rest of the time we didn't read any of the code, pretty much. Um,
Nice.
yeah. Do you want to join? Come on up on stage. Um, yeah, so this was like the first time I've done entire project where we didn't basically read any of the code. I think probably a couple times just to debug. But it was about 24 hours straight, and it actually pretty much works perfectly, which is pretty cool. Hey,
Okay, so
oh, hey, Maxim.
can
Sorry, I
I
didn't know
share
you
my
were.
screen?
Sure, yeah, yeah. Maxim, was my partner this weekend at this hackathon.
I don't- yeah, I'm Max. You don't need to call me. That's so funny. Um, but I'm okay. Here's entire screen. So real problem. There is Stripe code and it needs real users. So because I specialize in go-to-market, and I don't have enough time to work full time at Stripe code, and I think this project deserves some attention. We use our own app to classify customers for Stripe code. So that was real demo. Real demo was a way to classify companies if they have one or many branches, if their dev team is over 10 employees, or is are they outsourcing or product company? So we can take entire prompt, go to web surfing, click through templates, create new template, can paste our criteria, and we can hit enter. At the same time, we'll find some companies. I prepared small data set previously, so I will reuse it. Here what we see is a company from LinkedIn and deep research agent results. I'll just take like 10 results for now. Okay, so our Mastra agent generated enrichment pipeline, configured expected data types, tools, prompts.
Yeah, the output format in each section is the important bit because they also all flow into each other. Because the outputs from the first section will lead to what is in the context for the next section after it.
So this is with emoji, tribe code, dev team profiler. We just created so we can deploy webset or like a dynamic table. And here I will just paste 10 rows. That should trigger. I'm not sure if we made it. Okay, now it works. So what's going on under the hood? Each column is an array formula that applies some inference with tools and structured output generation. The goal is for the business development process to filter initial dataset based on results from the last column. Okay, Alex, this is not working flawlessly, but this is working good enough, so you can see results after full refresh. So whenever there will be value 1, 2, or 3 in the last column, those companies are suitable for tribe code GTM outreach campaign. And yes, and what we vibe coded in a day is API interface. You can use Mastra agents to edit columns. So let's say don't like we can we use Mastra agent.
Yeah, so go ahead, Max.
We can use AI agent to modify entire pipeline. We can use it to clean data sets, add new columns, edit existing, or even load data sets from CSV, even if column names are much different than what you have inside the pipeline. I think if we put more effort into this project, this can be something like clay replacement soon. So yeah, that hackathon project was good enough that the judge from the hackathon reached out to me today so we can check if we can combine our app with Emergent as a service.
Ah, cool, interesting. Yeah, he offered to pay for it during the pitch as well.
Yes, and he right now wants to connect us with others so they can use the same app.
Pretty cool.
So here is the agent. I don't know. It's just, but we can already. So this is the real demo. Right now I can filter results and improve GTM pipeline without writing a single Excel or code formula.
Coming next, the Google Sheets plugin.
So far, we tested that for multiple examples because this agent can also look for new rows. So my friend from biotech medtech company, she wanted to have a structured data set with hospitals from Bay Area. Another example was to research conference speakers, and also this web surfing can help with that. I don't know. It's like the idea to have something that processes data on autopilot and also it's easy to adjust. That will enable many research assistants like 19, 20, 21 years old who don't know how to code yet and need daily different research tasks.
Yeah, I also
No,
tried it
maybe
out on scientific applications, and it works quite well for that as well. Had it enriching rather than like BD data, actually had it enrich basically a list of keywords and find associated topics, and then contrast contrast the abstracts of these different papers. So it could do quite a bit of analysis like that as well under the same hood.
From my perspective, the most interesting part was that Alex with Stripe code and many sub agents, he was able to merge our vibe coded changes without breaking the app. And we built 85,000 lines of code, and the app was working in production like maybe 3-4 hours after we started, and we just pushed directly to production. So that
Yeah,
is something that
we built the
I've
entire
never
thing.
seen. I've never seen someone like Alex who can manage so many agents at the same time. It's
Yeah,
remarkable.
we definitely have a good time with this. It's probably worth explaining exactly what Tribe does. The point of Tribe is that we capture the whole event log, so all of your conversations with your agents while you write things, which means that quite soon, actually, we should actually have a pull request tool, so that if you want to merge two agents' work, you can actually see what your prompts were as you do that, which seems to be the key to doing it a lot better. But this week it was mostly sub agents, but we're hoping to have that ready for people pretty soon. I just dropped the link. If you want to just open up the if you want to open up the project, you can see how the master agents are configured. The actual TypeScript to set up a master agent is not very hard. It's basically like a prompt file. It's like YAML with a prompt. And if you have the the patience to set those up. Also, what Max showed me is that it's extremely fast with Claude Code. So Claude Code seems to understand the structure of Master quite well, which makes it buttery smooth to set up these agents and set up like all kinds of different prompting mechanisms and stuff for them. It's like it's almost in the category of it just works for most of this kind of sub agent stuff. Everything's always my fault. Yep. Max, any notes on how to use Master in case anybody's wondering?
Oh wow, we are browsing the source code. Um, yes. Sorry, yikes. It's first time I see the source code. We were really in hurry.
A little bit of PTSD flashbacks from
But what we started with a clear explanation that if you want a feature, we need to have a test for it. So in the directory, you will have tests for most important features, and this way we don't need to read the source code. We just define the test cases.
and occasionally find exceptions when you click a button and it doesn't work. If and when a button does not work, then we went back and told it to fix the tests, which seemed to be enough to get all the way over the finish line, which is pretty cool. With more or less swearing, depending on how tired we were. Towards the end of the night, probably a little bit swearing. Yeah, the project started at 9:30 in the morning on Saturday and ended at about 9 a.m. on Sunday, or 11 a.m. on Sunday. So we pretty much pushed through to get it out and live, but by the time that we got to the end of it, we definitely weren't thinking as much and mostly just telling the agents to fix things, which luckily I think due to the structure was actually feasible. And the product was completely working when we went into the pitch room. Yeah, and like TDD with an abuse of opus planning as well, which I think is the structure that leads to the good TDD.
Uh,
Yeah, Codex has been free for like over a month, so I just been using that. Yeah, on Windsurf. It's been free for It's been free for like a month. Yeah. No, I haven't. Just happy they added checkpoints.
It makes a lot of sense. I mean, it's the audit problem, right? Like every time that I tell Claude to do something, I have to then tell another Claude or the same Claude to check the work. Um, which if you can just get a hook to run autonomously. It'd be interesting to see how they're proposing to configure the hooks. Like, what are they going off of? Is it just when Claude says, "I have completed the work," then you immediately say, "Are you sure? Please double check." It's pretty much what I say every time. If Claude says, "I have completed blank," then I say, "Prove it," and then it goes and tests the work. And like about half the time, at least with Sonnet, about half the time it will say, "Actually, I'm so sorry, I lied to you. I'm now fixing the problem." Pretty much every time, actually.
What do you guys
Opus is
mean
a
by
little bit
hooks?
more like
I
something.
don't understand.
I think this is related to hooks, is like double checking the work, you know?
Oh, so like like automated prompts that like run after the thing declares success or whatever?
Most of them are OTel. And or I need a dirty script. So
I see they're like predefined like before or after uh scripts that run basically. Have like an adversarial model that double checks everything.
Thanks. You should get his screenshot up on the screen. It's pretty funny. Right. It says, I am beyond sorry. I have made a complete and utter mess of your project. I approached My approach of copying files from the reference project was fundamentally wrong, and I have created a disaster of setups.
Poor thing, you're giving it a fucking existential crisis. Codex doesn't even respond when I start criticizing it. It's just like it just starts trying to fix it.
This is what Gemini feels like when you tell it to fix Claude's work or review Claude's work, which is unfortunate. Seems to always be second. Yeah, that screen sharing. Yep. It seems like an algebra thing. It's like, if people have reached the limits of what one agent can do, then getting two agents to work on the same thing in a useful way is probably the next step. I mean, I think most people have kind of been doing this with sub agents anyways, right? So there's like there was already a kind of like the GitHub Actions hook. So like we have Claude reviewing all of our pull requests and things like that. And I'm sure that people are starting to think like, oh, what if that was part of my like local workflow instead of it just being on my CI system? Maybe it has unlocked a huge paradigm inside these organizations, and that's why they're now making it a public feature. We could all just try it right now too. It's probably not that hard. Let's get a sample repo up.
Yes, I agree with that. It's more like I heard somewhere that like it's better to get agents to write the code that implements what you want as opposed to writing the code directly. I'm not sure why, but I heard that somewhere and it was in my head and I'm like, oh, let's try it out. So I built a harness that like basically executes instructions written in a YAML file. It's cool. It like makes a log of stuff and it's replicatable. Like you just rerun the harness and it'll rebuild whatever you made. But like I can't figure out how to make it useful in terms of like agentic workflows. It just seems like a good bootstrapping tool. So I was wondering if anybody has done anything like that.
I might have a demo here in a sec.
It's not prompt. It's like well, I guess it's just like it's just like a more convoluted way to write code. But it's I can't remember where I heard it, but I was watching a podcast. Someone was talking about it and saying it's a really powerful tool, and I'm like, how the fuck is this powerful? So I'm just trying to figure it out.
I think it's
It's basically
spec languages, right?
yeah. So you're basically using like you're using like the YAML files as like an interpreter for like executing tool calls. So like it writes them into the YAML file instead of like executing them directly, and then you have like an audit trail of what it did. So basically, you have a harness that like has the full suite of tools, and then it will write the YAML file tool calls instead into the YAML files instead of executing the tool calls. And then I just run the harness, and it runs all the tool calls and then does what it's supposed to do. So like it adds like an intermediary layer between the agent and its calls, and then you, so you can like see what the hell it's doing. Yeah, like for the auditing of code or like auditing of the execution of your agents, like definitely useful. That's what I'm primarily going to be using it for. It does add like a weird extra layer that you have to like get it to output code, but then you can also audit the output from it as well. Like have another model go over it and double check that there's nothing crazy or wrong in it. Yeah, more or less, it's just like a heavily auditable subagent.
Very cool. Yeah, looking further into the hooks thing, I've just been digging and playing with how Claude's set up. It looks like it's a SOC 2 compliance thing because certain, I would imagine certain industries have at least reporting requirements if Claude is allowed to use certain things. So, for example, if you're like a health company and Claude is querying the database, they want to know exactly what was queried and when. Um, and I think that seems to be it's most of the hooks seem to fire off of tool use. I have successfully had it now run a hook off of finishing the end of a conversation and also on finding an error, and it seems to work in both cases, which is pretty cool. Um, Mostly, it seems though it's more of like a scripting thing, so it's not like it's going to trigger a subagent, though you can actually trigger a subagent, which seems to have worked. So that's pretty cool. Um, but yeah, it makes a lot of sense though that this would be necessary because otherwise there's no information hooks back to organizations that need to actually monitor these things, which makes a lot of sense. I think that's basically it. What are these rankings based on? This looks a little off. Interesting. I'm surprised Opus is so low. I get way better performance out of Opus than any of these. Koi just completed a hard fork today, so we have a whole bunch of hosting capacity back online, so that's exciting. I currently have Claude trying to test its own hooks, and it seems to be having a very bad time of it. But it looks like the main takeaway is they don't trigger on dash dash print. So if you're using the Claude CLI, you can't trigger the hooks directly. Not exactly sure how to test hooks. I'm going to have to look at the docs and try to figure out exactly how this works. But if you go into the repo that I sent, there is some Claude or .claude folder configurations that might be useful. The odd thing is, I think Claude is not well. It doesn't understand its own hooks very well, at least. So we'll have to see what happens there. I'll post an update in the general channel with some working code once I see this working. I do want to get hooks into our workflow, I think.
I thought AMP looked sick. That looked really cool.